everybody. Welcome to another episode. I'm Charles, your host, and with me today, Rob, you get to introduce yourself because I feel like you and I have known each other for a really long time, and anything that I say would just be doing you a disservice.
Oh, well, you're too kind. Well, that's totally fine. I can just introduce myself and say my name is Rob Witlsey. I'm the CEO, founder of VideoFresh. It's a full service video production company, but also marketing strategy. And we do all kinds of stuff. We do a lot of great brand videos, a lot of stuff for TV, a lot of stuff throughout the whole digital marketing funnel. So I've been doing that since 2016. And I've got a great team out here in Pasadena in the LA area. And I guess that's about it. So
You and I get to talk about probably one of my favorite subjects, which is AI slop. So we're going to talk about why we believe that human crafted video still matters in this age of generative content. And I remember the last time we had this conversation, and I swear between then and now, we've had even more improvements in AI production quality when it comes to video.
yeah.
So this will be interesting.
Yes, we are in the middle of the biggest technological transformation in my industry since I started. So it is huge and it's changing everything, and it's changing the way people are thinking about content, and it's changing things from a business standpoint. It's changing my marketplace, right? So that's one thing, but it's also changing things, what's creatively possible. Like it's such a mixed bag of things. We're in the middle of the biggest hype cycle, right? And so I think that the dust is going to settle, and the true value of it, I think, is going to be left to be seen and to be used moving forward. It's certainly an incredible technology, and I think it changes some things about how content gets made, but I don't think it changes what matters about content. And that's, I think, what we could talk about here. So
I remember when the technology first became more accessible to have, we'll say, like, probably more professional grade equipment at home, right?
Right.
Because back before then, if you wanted something that was going to be more high end, more professional, you were going to be spending thousands upon thousands of dollars. I mean, it was a very expensive hobby for someone to have. And of course, we're talking about the days of Betamax and the days of 35 millimeter film and all that. I mean, this is very, very expensive.
Yeah.
Then along comes digital, and all of a sudden these things became slowly more and more attainable. Now we have 4K and 8K cameras that you can get for just a couple $100, and you're now able to produce, much higher quality content just with what you have at home. And now I feel like we've now gone to the next step, which is creating studio quality just by typing in some words, by doing some prompts.
That's right. It's become easier and easier to have incredible looking footage. And now you can literally just type in a prompt, text to video, and get something that looks amazing. And that is getting people really excited. And they're seeing the possibility that, hey, this means that we don't ever need to use cameras again. This also means that anyone can, be Steven Spielberg, basically, right? So, and I think that is one of the things that I see. And I don't want to be here to say, I could make a case. I could make that case for why live production will always matter and all that stuff. I think that for me, what I've always cared about is using the power of video content to make actual change in the world. So if that's for a business, like video, let's just take a step back and talk about video content, right? Like there's a reason that video is still the most amazing medium, because you can capture an emotion like in a bottle. Like if you want to make someone laugh, a video can do that. If you want to make someone feel really sentimental or really think about their own life or feel afraid, or like any emotion that you want to capture, you can do that with a video, because you have music. Music is incredibly powerful. You have dialogue, you have the visuals, you have all of these things that it's like this perfect combination of all the most emotion driving elements to it. Okay, so that can be, but it's easier said than done. Like making, anyone that's ever done video production and anyone that's ever done filmmaking or anything like that knows how hard it is to actually elicit an emotion from another human through your content. It is not easier to do that with generative AI. like it's not, it's just not any easier. It's still a huge challenge to get the impact of your content that you need your content to have, whether you're doing that with CG, whether you're doing that with animation, whether you're doing that with live action, whether you're doing that with AI. To me, those are all just like, oh, am I going to use oil paint, or am I going to use, acrylic, or am I going to use watercolor, or am I going to use crayons? Like, these are all just different things to draw with. But you cannot outsource the soul of what you're doing to the AI. The AI does not have the soul. The AI is a paintbrush. It can create the visuals that you craft it to create. But I think that once that dust settles, what everyone's going to realize is, to your term, which I think is a great term that I use all the time, is the AI slop. So to me, AI slop is like, I'm just going to like hammer in a sentence, and then whatever that thing gets me, I'm going to say, that's great. And I'm going to use it and I'm going to post it. The world is enamored with AI slop right now. Like, AI slop is amazing, in the sense that people
but I mean,
can't believe it.
It's like a slot machine, though.
Yes.
Are you going to actually get something that's worth posting? I don't know. Type in a thing and try it. It really is like pulling the slot machine lever and seeing what you get. And something is going to come
Right.
out. And if that something is usable or not, you might hit 1 out of every 10 or 1 out of every 50 or whatever your odds may be. Make a tweak to it, try again. But it seems to not matter how detailed your prompt is or how small it is. It's still an absolute gamble as to what you're going to get for the outcome. There's no real control over that.
I completely agree. I think that text to video in particular, I think that's the one that trips people up the most, because it is the absolute easiest way to get something. But it is the most difficult way to get something specific. So I think that, like, it's an amazing way to get, like you said, get something, pull that slot machine lever. And might there be a time and a place to pull that lever and get a clip and throw it on social media and use it? That's totally up to you. Go ahead. Like, I think that, and maybe it's great, maybe it converts, I think that what it's not going to replace, here's basically what I think is going to happen, is I think you're going to have this race to the bottom where everyone and all your competitors and everyone is posting the same grade of slop. And a lot of people will accept that level as whatever, as acceptable content. But what does that do? Well, what's your advantage then? Now, how much easier is it to put in that extra effort? Because AI makes people lazy. That's what it is. AI makes us lazy. It makes us go, I can just go, blah, 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 boop, there it is. I'm going to do this. Better take me 5 seconds to get this answer. We do that with the chat bot too. With like, I want the chat GPT to hammer something out for me. Did you see that study? MIT did a study where they were looking at people's brain activity using ChatGPT versus like not using ChatGPT. And like when they weren't using it, when they were like trying to write something on the computer, their brain was like firing on all cylinders. And then as soon as they go over to ChatGPT, it's like a dim light bulb like in their brain, like this like minimal activity. It was crazy because we just outsource, and that really made me think for like a whole day after that. I was like, wow, I got to be careful, like how much I'm using it.
It really does feel like we're outsourcing our critical thinking. And now that we're delving into creativity, is that also what we're doing? Are we outsourcing our own creativity? And also, are we just going to be complicit with mediocre content?
Yeah.
The content that you get, even the people who generate something, they typed in some words, they got a thing, and then they posted it online. You can ask them, is that actually what you wanted? Like,
yes.
Did you purposely want exactly what you got? And I promise you 99.99% of the time, no.
Yeah.
This is not actually what they had in mind, but what it did create made them laugh or whatever. And they thought, okay, this is pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and shove this onto social media and see what happens. And we'll get a few good chuckles out of it. But there's no consistency.
There's no consistency. And I think, like you said, it's like, we're kind of in this hype cycle right now that I don't think 12 months from now AI is going to get better over the next 12 months, like AI video. But I think I have a hot take, and there's going to be those that disagree with me on this, but I feel like I should have a point of view and stand by it. My point of view is that people actually don't want to really watch AI content. Like, in other words, it's one thing if AI video gets to if you make a video using AI where the viewer doesn't even think twice as to whether it's AI or not, and it's a great story, I think that you've done it. I think that you have now, that technology's reached the place where your viewer is not, your viewer is pulled into the world that you've made, and they're not evaluating it from the outside. Is it AI? Is it not? Oh wow, that's a really good AI model. Like, that's not storytelling. Like, that's a tech demo, right? The whole thing is a tech demo right now, is how it kind of feels. So will it get to that place where it can truly pass as reality, where you and I can't tell? I think it will get there. When the technology gets there, those stories are not going to there's always going to be the lowest common denominator of storytelling that you could probably press a button and get a whole story. But I would maintain that there will always be the higher level that will always be wielded by inspired human minds. And no matter how good the technology gets, that just is where everyone races to that level. And now you can stick out by adding inspiration, by adding that human ingredient that is going to be missing from everyone else's content. And people will disagree. We could have a sci-fi philosophical conversation about whether that's wrong. Maybe AI can do it all. I don't think for a very long time that's what we're going to see, personally. So
My fear, of course, is that it's going to make people complicit with indifference. Here's what I
yep,
mean. When there was a TV series on Disney Plus, a Marvel show, and the entire opening sequence was made with AI.
yep,
And when they did that and they sent it out, you had this crazy divide of some people who loved it, a lot of people who absolutely hated it, like venomously hated it. And they went
yeah,
online to tell everybody in the world how much this was awful. And I saw that around the same time was happening with other things too. Somebody would post a picture and clearly it's
yeah,
AI, and all the comments would be, "Oh no, AI slop, AI garbage. I hate AI anymore." And nobody seems to care. They
mm,
see the AI show up. Here's AI content, and the response is always, "Eh."
yeah, yeah,
And I guess that's part of my fear, is that we're just becoming so immune to seeing this AI stuff that we just accept it, but we don't seem to love it. We don't really seem to hate it either. We just have accepted it as content.
yeah. I think we do accept it. I think we are very malleable. Like, a new tech comes along and we accept it. I sent you that music video because it got me. It was exactly about this topic. I sent you that OK Go music video that a lot of people maybe have seen, where with the mirrors, you have robots and you have mirrors, and you have this incredibly meticulously choreographed effort made by this team of like 200 people. They went to, like, I forget, they flew to Europe somewhere to set this whole thing up. It's like this, 2 or 3 minute single take with all these perfectly choreographed mirrors with the whole band. It's mind blowing. If you recreated a pixel for pixel like replica of that video, and it was AI, and people knew that it was AI, right? Like, well, I guess I'll caveat with that. Like, if someone was to go, "Oh, look at this great AI video I made of this guy with all these robots and mirrors," what something is obviously missing from that. No, there was no collaborative team solving. There was no subtext behind that. Like, the subtext of a video is so important. Like, this really happened. This was a crazy, impossible project that they actually pulled off, that a team pulled off. It's not really about the final result all the time of the content. It's about what the content means under like behind the curtain, right? What is the subtext of this? And I think that we are going to, I think right now people can't sort the wheat from the chaff. I think it's just, oh, content's content. I do think that there is going to be such an appetite for authenticity. I think in a world where everything is AI and there's no subtext behind anything, I think that we are going to have a big appetite for what we've always loved about content, which is real people, real stories, real struggles, real victories, real drama, right? I don't want to see uh reality TV fake drama with fake people that don't even exist. I want to see these real people. I want to see them actually like duke it out on a and have the drama, right? Like there's some, when you start to go through all the types of content that you like and why you like it, you start to realize, oh, like sometimes AI wouldn't make a difference and sometimes it really would make a difference. And so that's what I've spent a lot of time thinking about, is it's making me appreciate what is good about some kinds of content. Another good example would be like, a documentary. Like that's a whole category that no one's going to ever want to replicate with I mean, people might try, but I don't think, and no one wants that, right? No one wants an AI generated documentary. No one wants an AI generated promotional video about uh a real event that happened, or like, no one wants AI generated Coachella promo video, right? They want to see what happened. They want to go see the event. And there's always going to be a real world where stuff happens. And so I think that, no one, man on the street, it is fun to do an AI parody man on the street, right? But a real man on the street, where like, what do people think like out in the world on the street? Like, I want to know what the popular opinion is out there on the streets of New York. The only acceptable way to do that video, if you really want it to be a real one, is to pull out a camera and run out on the street and film that. So I think it is, I think it's all about using this technology where it's really a big win and where it really takes us somewhere new and doesn't compromise what we love about content. I think you're right. We are going to settle. Stuff's going to get compromised, but that doesn't mean that could be your advantage. If what you're going to do is make that extra effort, now you can stand out from the noise maybe more easily than you can right now, where it's hard. There's a lot of great content out there right now. If this causes all us to like lower the bar like across the board and we all settle for that, it might be like a breath of fresh air to still see, something like that OK Go music video. You're like, oh my gosh, this is on another level. So maybe it opens up good opportunities for at the end of the day, I'm like a marketer, right? I'm a marketer that does videos. So I think from a marketing standpoint. So I think in two ways. I think like it's going to make high volumes of short form content very quick and easy. Maybe you want to make 100 social ads in a day, and and just split test them all. Okay, cool. Like one of them is going to outperform, and you can run that. But you're not going to build a brand that way, right? You're not going to build a brand with that approach. You're going to build a brand with this, that soul of your brand cannot come from the AI. That soul has to come
because
from
there's no authenticity. You said so yourself, and I think you're spot on that. And I can, because we're talking about video, we can actually go back and look at Hollywood and see how authenticity has played a role in drawing an audience. Right around the time when we were all just completely awed by spectacle because, CGI was taking off and we were seeing all these amazing new effects, along comes this guy named Jackie Chan. And oh my gosh, he actually jumped from that building to that other building. And that drew a crowd. We had to see that. And we'd seen other movies where people have done ridiculous jumps. The Matrix, of course, had come out and all of that. And that was all amazing. But this guy did it for real. And There was something about that. And then much more recently, the Mission Impossible movie that came out. Tom Cruise actually goes on his motorcycle and drives off the side of a mountain. And he had to do it like 6 times, which is ridiculous. But it was really him. And he really did drive a real motorcycle off a real mountain cliff. And, that's true authenticity. Now to bring that, scale down, we look at YouTube. Some of the most popular YouTube videos out today are talking heads. It's a real person sitting in a real chair, looking in the camera and talking to you. And I think you said that it was TikTok that taught us the difference between authenticity and production.
Yep. Totally. Because highly produced content, right? Like there's a huge landscape of video content that like a brand needs too. Like if a brand does not need one type of content. There's a huge ecosystem. You have brand elevating content, which is like, this is me, the brand, this is like us at the brand, and we're saying something, and we're presenting ourselves to the world, and we're capturing our why and what we believe, and we're making you feel something that makes you remember something about the brand. So that kind of stuff, putting your best foot forward with a piece of content like that makes sense. You don't even always have to have a high production value for that, but I think that having a high production value, just having it look nice and not look unprofessional, right, matters. I think that it says something about the quality of your products. You also need a mountain of UGC content and just people filming on their phones and doing whatever they need to do for TikTok and these other places, because like you said, it's the authenticity of that is works so well. You now have AI influencers popping up all over the place, and I don't know. I mean, us humans, we're so perceptive. AI hasn't really reached a point yet where, at least as far as in my opinion, it hasn't reached a point where I think if you're not paying a lot of attention, you might get thrown with an AI. I think deep fakes you can really get thrown by, which is a form of AI technology. At the end of the day, this is my message to the world. Creating effective content is hard, and it will always be hard. So creating content that does what you want it to do is never the AI is not going to do that part for you. It's going to make what you want it to make, and to the degree of effort you put into it. And when it comes to marketing, you have to cut through the noise, and wherever the noise is at the moment. And if the noise is all over here, you got to be over there. If everyone's zigging, you got to zag. And so I think that, I'm very eager to maximize the utility of generative AI content. I also know that we're not going to be selling our camera gear anytime soon. Like, we're just, you know what I mean? Like, I just know that it's going to be a mishmash. In fact, one video, I mean, this is what we're doing right now. And we've been delivering generative AI videos for about 18 months now, like before it was cool. We've
I
been
was
doing
going
it
to
for a while.
ask if you guys were actually using AI videos in your own productions. Are
Yes,
you?
we've been doing it. We've been doing it since 2023. I was delivering. That was the first time a client paid us for a fully generative AI video. That was early days. That was like image to video stuff, but it was great, and it was like effective for them. I think that what's really popular right now is like a mixed approach. So how can AI take the best of live production and the best of AI production and like kind of marry them together so that they're getting to that? It's really a kind of a cool, the most powerful AI video related tools right now are tools that take existing footage and manipulate it or change it or do stuff to it. Not text to video. Text to video in that kind of thing where you're kind of imagining from the ground up. Text to video is never going to be the workflow that gives you the control that you need at a professional level.
I agree. It's not going to give you the control or the consistency. It's really just for AI slop. Because when you're going from text to video, you can make so much of it so fast. For every one video that you produce, somebody's just made 100 of these just, AI garbage, and then they just throw it up there on social media.
And it's cool. And I've enjoyed some AI slop myself. It's not, I think it's cool. It's an amazing thing. The temptation, it causes a temptation, right? The temptation is, now this is all I should be doing for my brand, right? That's the temptation. It makes it so easy. It's like DoorDash. Oh, I'm just going to sit on my couch and push a button and food comes. It's like, yeah, but like, first of all, it's really expensive. Second of all, like, you go to a restaurant, like, at least go grocery shopping. Like, you don't, we are like Venus, like we're like flies to the Venus flytrap of convenience. So I think the text to video thing is like really making people go, wow, I can kind of just prompt my way to all the content I need. And a lot of people are going to do that. And I don't think the big brands are going to do it, because we work with a lot of big brands. We work with a lot of small brands. The big brands, they know better, right? But the small brands that really struggle to invest properly into their content, that's where they're, a lot of them are going, well, we don't need any videos anymore because we can just have AI do it. And it's like, okay, well, have you tried using AI? Oh no, but like it's just going to be free and easy. I'm like, okay, well, go try it and come back when you've
When
tried
that
it and
fails,
let me
because
know. Yeah, let me know
it
how
is
easy it
it
was.
is yeah, it is
Yeah,
definitely not free, and it is definitely not easy.
it's not free and it's not easy. And right now, a lot of people think it is, and so they're holding off on taking an action because they're trying to figure it out for themselves. I had a client literally yesterday say, this happened with a client yesterday. They said, "Oh, generative AI is amazing. We're gonna go try it ourselves." I said, "Awesome! Like, send it to me when you're done." And got an email yesterday. Hey, we tried it. We can't figure it out. Everything's weird. It's hallucinating. We don't know what to do. So I'm like, yep, it's not easy to make what you need. And so I think to make what anyone like any specific output, like you said, like start with a vision, use generative AI to make it a reality. Just try it. See how much. What you will find is it takes so much human labor to do that, that quite often making that video would take you less time. Just go film it, just pull out a camera and film it. That's what we found.
Just
Sometimes just film it, and it might even be cheaper. It might be cheaper for you to pay us to use a camera than to pay us to jujitsu the generative AI models around to get your video. Like, you know,
even to do it yourself. I've seen some of the videos that have been really popular, and the ones that were really impressive. Like, wow, that
yeah,
video is like almost 2 minutes long, and it remained pretty consistent. That was like really well done. And then you see the behind the scenes, and they're like, yeah, this was actually like $7,000 worth of AI credits that we had to
yeah,
burn in order to pull this off. And I'm like, well, you could have just pulled out your camera and recorded a person
yeah,
doing the exact same thing that you just did with AI.
yep.
So
And I think it's kind of like these different models too. So people always ask me, "Oh, what models do you use for generative AI?" Um, and it's like it's literally there's 10 different models that we use that we've put 1,000 hours into it, like into learning every model that's out there. And so we know a lot of it comes down to like understanding these different models and where they give you reliable results and where they just like go off in random directions or they can't quite nail. There are here's a great example. There are some models that no matter what you do, you cannot get it to generate a video of someone like putting a capsule in their mouth and like drinking water. Like it won't do that. Or if they take the pill, they'll just like chew it like it's a like it's a candy, and it's like supposed to be like a herbal capsule. So like stuff like that, and it's like no matter what, like it will not. Certain models are because every model is trained differently, and every model is you're going to run into something that you need it to do that it's not trained to do. Like that's at this point. Now you can say, well, down the road it'll be trained to do everything. Yes, but there's kind of an infinite amount of control that you are going to wish you had over these models. So you end up so every viral video I've ever seen with AI that's come out, I'm keenly aware of all the limitations, like all the pitfalls they're choosing to avoid in their creativity because to stay in the safe zones because I know these models really well. So that really viral one that like Disney ran as an ad or something, it was for that new like it was a kind of like a gambling website, or they call it something else. They call it a
yeah,
predictive
yeah, yeah.
market. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean. Yeah,
Mhm.
I can't remember the name right now, but it that video stayed in the absolute safest zone of AI, which is have every shot be a different face. Have every clip be 8 seconds long and just a different scene of a bunch of people. So that guy did a great job, like creating some content that just maximized what VO3 is good at. So,
That's completely changing your content though to the tool. Rather
yes,
than, typically we go the other way around. I write a script and I expect you to use these tools to make what I have envisioned. For that, you really do have to go the other way around.
you just have to limit. Yeah, like people are kind of limiting their creativity to their reverse engineering. What can this model do, and what can I do with it? And that's fun. It's a tech demo. That's kind of the stage we're at with it. But I think that you're always going to kind of not always, but you're going to for the next 12, 18, 24 months, we're going to be in a very similar place, for sure, right, with it. So where maybe beyond that, but I think that even as the models get more powerful, that doesn't mean they get easier for the average person to get what they want out of it. And I think there's going to be that gap. So back to, like, I'm 100% convinced that generative AI is going to, like, we need to answer the question, how can generative AI provide more true value to the brands we work with? So that's what I care about. I'm more like, pro generative AI in so much as it should be used responsibly and to the betterment of the brand. I think most people aren't using it that way. So I think the degree to which it should be used right now is much less than most people think. I think it's coming in as a really powerful tool. The reason that I know that we are gonna, be generative AI might make us busier than ever, because it might make us actually able to now finally offer something to a lot of these brands that couldn't afford it before. So I mean, that's great. People are always going to need videos, and these videos are not easy to make. So that's where VideoFresh's, role comes in, right? I think that I just know that you could learn to do anything. You could learn to change your own pipes, under your sink, right? You could learn,
Oh,
which I've
sure.
tried to do. You could learn to be a plumber, but you probably want to hire a plumber that they're really good at that. So, like, that's, VideoFresh is here to use whatever tools to help people get the results they want with their videos. So
And because of that, you are not even a little bit concerned that AI is going to completely wipe out video production houses.
I don't think it can. I think that people don't. First of all, people don't have time. Video production, the craft is not going anywhere. So as long as that craft is there, um, the brands are going to need to hire some people to do it. So yes, I'm not concerned that video production, that there's not going to be a vocation where people are helping brands get their videos made. Um, do I think that it will totally transform the industry? Do I think that a lot of people won't adapt fast enough, and maybe they'll have a hard time, finding it? I think that if you are at the cutting edge of the technology, the dude that made that video, the dude that, like, made that AI video, he said he's got lines out the door. Brands want him to make their next AI video, even though you and I could probably make this video, to be honest. But, like, it's like, I mean, like, the one he made, it was pretty straightforward. But, like, he's brands want content. I mean, brands need content. They know it matters, and they are starving for it. I think right now what's happening is my customer base is a little bit confused. Some of them. So we do a lot of stuff with e-commerce, for example, and I think a lot of e-commerce brands are confused as to what this technology means. Should they be reaching out to a video production company? The only brands that say that are the ones that haven't, like, tried it themselves. Like, so everyone's kind of going through their own process of, like, evaluating, well, okay, generative AI can make videos, so why would we ever need to hire a video production company again? Because it can go do it. But then they try it, and then they come back and they say, oh, right. Okay, so we'll have you do it then. It's like, cool, great.
I get you. I see it. It's because it's a nightmare. I see. Oh,
Yeah, it's a
okay.
nightmare. Okay, got it. Right. It's like, so people think it's easy because they see these amazing clips, and it's hard, man. I mean, like, to get a great, and we recently, and I'll send you what we did recently, but we did recently did a full lifestyle project, kind of as a tech demo in a way, for a to be like, could we do a full lifestyle like supplement product video? And we pulled it off. We had to stay within the safe zone. We had to really limit our creativity. It wouldn't do a great job at some of the stuff we needed it to do. So but, as a tech demo, like, how do we push this as far as it could go? And yeah, and it's missing a little something. And I think it's still missing a soul. Um, it's still missing. It's like, wow, some of these shots look really convincing. Maybe you wouldn't even think that it's AI, but something's missing. It feels like you're watching a mannequin and not a person. Will that uncanny valley ever be completely filled in a scalable, reliable way? Maybe. So I think, and do people even care? Maybe, people settle for that. Like, we'll just see. It's interesting. I love the moment we're in right now because it's so interesting, and we are finding ways of doing more work than we would otherwise, not less, right? Because if anything, it's just unlocking certain projects that maybe weren't financially feasible for this brand before, and now they are, because we have this like nifty generative AI option that they go for. So
That's something interesting. Last things I want to touch on, but I definitely want to touch on it. Um, I find that interesting. Some people have told me that now that we have this generative AI and it can make video, well, clearly that's going to make making video a lot faster. I have not found that to be the case in the slightest.
yep.
I can generate now more impressive video. I can do things that I definitely couldn't have done before, but it still takes a very long time. Uh, the little videos that I made, they were 30 seconds long. They took days for me to
Right.
put together, of generating the content, editing the content, regenerating content, having to find all the I mean, just the whole process, and then the audio and the mixing and all. This took a couple of days to pull off 30 seconds. Um, and I have to imagine that it would have taken probably around the same amount of time if I had spent a day filming
Yeah.
and then spent time in post. It would have been about the same.
Yep. I agree. And I think that, like, here's a good example, just to get all specific or whatever, but like a lot of the time, for a particular video, right? So a lot of times we're doing like a lot of videos in a day. So like we'll do 10, 5 or 10 supplement videos in a day, for example. It would literally, if my costs and time involved with creating 10 of those, as opposed to literally doing a full-blown production where we're renting a house, we're hiring actors, there's a makeup lady, like everything, producer, gaffer, cinematographer, director, like the whole, lunch for everybody on the day. It would still be less costly, perhaps, to just do, especially because we're gonna do a lot of different deliverables. We're gonna do not only a 60-second, we're gonna do cut downs of everything. Like, that's kind of what we've done for years and years. So AI comes along, and that now AI is a cheaper way of doing one of them, because now you don't have to spend 20 grand or whatever on a filming day. But it's a more expensive way to do all of them, because we can actually bang through a filming day and get all that footage and edit it together for you, and it's actually going to cost me about the same, or maybe even less, than painstakingly crafting each clip one by one for every video. Even though there's less people involved, there's something a lot faster about old school video production. Now I can get the perfect shot I need sometimes, just in a few seconds on the day. Throw the camera over there, hit record, bang, we got that angle. Now I got to go figure out how to generate that angle from scratch, and the trial and error involved and things like that. But there's a lot of the workflows are improving all the time. So we're this summer, me and my team are carving out lots and lots of time every week. We're developing our workflows for generative AI just to see what it can do. But in the meantime, we're doing a lot of live production, and that's kind of what's still keeping us busy out here. So it's a very interesting summer.
Rob from VideoFresh. I've got all of your links down in the description below, so people can check that out. I highly recommend everybody go and see his work. There's you've got like a whole portfolio of all your different works up there. And of course, if you're new, don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, all those wonderful things. Rob, thank you so much for joining me today. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, thank you. I love this conversation, and we're gonna have to like touch in again here a few months from now just to see what else has changed. So we'll maybe do a part 2 someday here.
I think we're going to need to.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks a bunch.